So off stream, I got Modern Cat, or not. I didn't get the true form. I didn't do the revenge stages, but I knew I wasn't going to be streaming it because over the weekend I was gone. I was gone on Friday and Saturday, and I did not feel like streaming. I wanted to relax, and plus I've done Typhoon Nemo a million times, especially with Professor Cat Jobs. Professor Cat Jobs makes that very easy, so I was not concerned about it. And so I did. I did in fact do it. And so now I'm gonna try and beat Elder Gun, I guess. What's going to come on when everything changes? Is there anything special coming on? Third? Yes, Hyper, you were third. Congratulations. Congratulations. Honestly, I might try to do some start SOL since we have infinite speed-ups now. Might. Especially since I don't actually know if start SOL would be a good idea for me. I'm not really... It's not like I'm overpowered or anything. That's actually the main problem with me starting UL. Is that, like, I don't have any, like, super strong Ubers to get me through. I'm actually gonna have to struggle. Which is unfortunate, but I mean, it's been a while since I've actually played a lot of the game on stream. Because I'm always like, oh, I have nothing to do, blah, 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 blah. But like, with infinite speed-ups on, that's no longer an excuse when grinding can be done. Hardcore grinding. How's everybody doing? It's been a little bit since I streamed. Well, I say that. I streamed last night for about an hour, but obviously I don't think anybody here was there. So, how's everybody been doing? How's everybody's weekend? I'm asking questions to brick walls because all of y'all are probably doing other shit. Playing a ton of Celeste. I saw you got into that. I've heard good things about Celeste. But I think the main reason why I haven't played it is because whenever it's compared to Hollow Knight, they say it's like a more platformy version. Like, it's got way more like platform focus than anything else. And does it have bosses? It also has story. School finally over? Damn, just now? In the middle of June? That's kind of crazy. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever play Celeste, because like platform games are fun and all, but there's so many of them in the world that I don't think getting another one is really worth it. The story is really good. I'm not a story guy. I'm really not. Like, I get so impatient with reading story. Especially when I'm like whenever I like want to do something like else. Because like some games just take so much time to play because of reading story. And like there's no action and whatever. Like Poultrio is on. I've already done that. Not on this account, but I've done Poultrio. Haven't I? I did Poultrio, right? Yeah, I did. I still don't have this new true form. When's it gonna be on? I should probably get Gato Amigo's true form ASAP so that I can, you know, have a Surge Immune meat shield. Is Eraser a good meat shield here? I don't actually know. Who would be good here? Oh wait, Nezuko. Nezuko. Is this one of the stages where you would rather have 5 meat shields? I'll see. Let it ride. I think maybe Dual Eraser would be best here. Because I don't know. I really don't. I still don't have Can. I'm still mad about that. I don't have Can. You can also brush past the story in Celeste without much issue. Pretty sure you can skip basically all cutscenes right from the start. Yeah, that's good. So it's kind of like a Pokemon game in a sense. Where like if you skip the story, you may not know entirely what you're doing, but you'll like still be able to play the game. Bro. You stop fucking missing, bro. You gotta slow them. You gotta slow them down. They're not slowing. This is bad. And I'm not killing them fast enough either. Is it the meat shields? Do I need 5? Or do I just need to stack up more? I can never remember how you actually beat this fucking stage. Because, like, it's one of the most unreasonably difficult stages in terms of the crazed. Like, I have no idea why, but it just seems so unreasonably difficult. More stack before base. Okay. I guess Awaken Bahamut would also be fine here. Oh wait, Giganto's good here, I think. You could cheese? How? How does one cheese this stage? Oh, Slime missed? God damn it. Gigando and Nezuko are gonna make each other miss a lot, I feel like. This is gonna be bad for my spawn limit. Kill with spawn cannon? Or kill... what? What? Kill with cannon? Huh? I don't get it. Okay, well, Nezuko's dead. Yeah, this is why I don't like 5 meat shields. If I had another meat shield that was actually fast, then maybe, but... I'm just gonna do this. I didn't get hardly any stacking in, but it... I mean, all these stacking I have is fucking Jizo. So there's only so many of them that spawn, right? I'm fairly certain that's how this stage works. So, as long as I can kill so many, I can win. In a very limited amount of Hollow Knight I did play one, Celeste is definitely easier to control, slightly floatier. Well, I mean... I think you're ignoring the part where I said I don't really care for platformers anymore. Like, Hollow Knight was a fun platformer, but mainly because it combined platforming with combat. I don't think Celeste does that. But correct me if I'm wrong. Star, there's only a limited amount of enemies. You said at the start twice. I gotcha. I don't have any attack only. Well, I mean, I guess I have Nezuko, but... Also, how many fucking lions are there? I've been killing them fine this entire time, but there's still so many. Like, what? I thought they were limited. But it feels a little more like unlimited, if you ask me. Like, what the fuck is happening here? It should be getting to a point to where it's reasonably dealt with. Is it done now? Are they done spawning? Thank you. Okay, there we go. They just kept on spawning for fucking ages. Oh my god. And I know there's like one every now and then, but like that should be easily dealable. This should be good. I shouldn't need anything else for this. Anyway, lots of line done. So I finally have another Manic. It's been a little while. Limited start, then infinite slow after. Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Well, an ancient curse. This is all I really want to do today. Sloshes boogishly? What the fuck does boogishly mean? Also, I still don't have enough NP to make Ruri actually good here. So, by the way, I remembered who I spent all my NP on. It was Kai. It was her. You're not winning this yet? What do you mean? What do you mean? I got it. I got the perfect plan. It's called Modern. Modern is my perfect plan. So, Modern, Cyberpunk. Who has a lot of range? Sure. And so now the rest go into research combo. Put some more anti-relics just to be safe. What fucking anti-relics do you think I have? What anti-relics do you think that I have? Because I guarantee you it's less than you think. Because look at this, right? Jamira, Super Feline, Pastry, Paragon, Valkyrie, Cat God, Uran, Catdam, Magica, Modern, Cyberpunk, and Cat Jobs. What other anti-relic do I have that would be useful here? What other one would be useful here? I'm willing to bet the answer is 0. Thaumaturge is not good here. One of the 2 legends? You mean one that knocks back and one that... What was the other one? Catdam? Bitch, he gets hit by the Omni. Cat Jobs would have to be insanely lucky to actually land a weekend. Insanely lucky. Sure, you know, I'll do what you say, but it's not gonna work. The surge does weaken. The surge against what? The two fucking doges that spawn? It doesn't spawn shit. It's primarily the Elder Bun. The Omni is still going to hit catch-ups. I'm gonna have to spam these fuckers. Maybe I should have done the third research combo. W surge. Okay, so maybe instead of bullet train, I instead use courier. You realize if you want Uber Run's damage, Anubis has like 50% more. And also, Neandum does not have good chip. You realize I'll have to do damage somehow, right? It's not against the Elder Bun. I need to stop the Relic Doges from doing anything too. I can stall the Elder Bun. It's the Doges that I need to deal damage to kill. Neandum's not helping with that, nor is his slow consistent. Uber Run's knockback might just fucking kill something. And if I want Uber Run's 4k DPS, I might as well use Anubis's 6k. You know? I still have my doubts about this guy. Oh wait, this bitch just gets cursed. If they get hit by the Omni, they're just gonna be cursed. I'm not gonna be able to perma weaken. You guys are literally trolling. You're literally trolling. Don't think you're doing anything, and I think I'd rather get a research combo. I guess I can use slime. Magicka's not going to be good here, chat. There's not enough money to be putting out Thaumaturge. I'm telling you, Thaumaturge isn't going to be good here. I've never in my life seen Thaumaturge get used here. Never in my life have I seen Thaumaturge used here. I'd rather just Cyber Stack. Oh, that Simon's still alive. I didn't realize that. Very fitting music. It is very fitting. Honestly, I'm just gonna Cyber Stack. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna hope that it works. I don't have Cyberpunk talented, so that might make this a little difficult. Holy shit. Oh, what? That's not good. You'll need 4 cybers to get 100% uptime. I don't need 100% uptime. Okay, well, this is not what I wanted. What? What? Why are they synced up? They fucking synced up! Okay, yeah, that's the biggest concern with cyber stacking, is that even if you do them right, they're just gonna sync up. Because of, I guess, LD? I guess that's just going to be the way it is. I'm just gonna have to hope for the best. Because I do have my doubts. Oh god, yeah. This is not good. The Omni's gonna make a little cat useless, I think. Go push back. I'm not convinced Manic Eraser is doing anything. Not convincing. I don't think Slime's doing anything here either. And Anubis is getting hit, I think. Now he is, definitely. Is Kitty of Liberty outranged? No way, right? The Omni's like 400 or something, right? I guess it could be like 350. Ah, shit, the slow is slightly too late. Oh, wait, no, the Omni's not 400 if Thaumaturge outranges. So what is it then? Is it 350? Go for his true form before retrying? The Cyclone was just on. I'd have to wait another half a month. Why do you think I'm doing it now? And why do you think I got Primordial off stream? Honestly, this is doable. Relic Buttons Omni's only 300? I don't know why I thought it was so much more than that. So yeah, Kitty of Liberty would actually be really good here. Maybe better than Slime, but then the start off would be harder. How many knockbacks does Bun have? Is it like 5? The wiki says use Can-Can? Really? Really? Use Can-Can, huh? Really? I had no idea. Fuck you. Okay, well that's 3. Hey, you guys remember whenever y'all shit talked Anubis? And then also had, you know, were telling me, use Thaumaturge! Or use Anti-Relic! Or, you know, something along those lines. Use Can-Can. Yeah, I think Anubis is doing fine on damage. Use Urarun! Slime has not gotten a hit, and that Omni Strike is brutal. Well, I mean, I have... Is that 3 or 4 Cyberpunks? Well, I guess it doesn't matter that some of them... I think 2 of them are still linked up. Okay, one last knockback. Am I actually doing this? You know, I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't expecting to do it first try. Or like first real try, I guess. Use Hyper Mister for check. Yeah, that'll work so well. Yeah, never underestimate Primordial, by the way. Primordial is perfectly fine. The main problem is attack speed, yeah. But like even against normal buns, you can get a hit in. It's just the Omni. The main problem is the Omni. You're wrong. Damn. That slime actually almost did get one in. Just timed the worst timing possible with Anubis' attack. And there we go. Okay, chat. Remember to have faith in me whenever I make up my own strategies. Any basic backliner works and it just has the highest DPS for its range for you. Yeah. And somebody saw that I had Anubis in my lineup and they were like, use Uru Run. I'm aware that Slime literally can't get in attacking without the Doge in front of the Bun. But that wouldn't be the case if, guess what, he didn't have Omni. So anyways, what did that unlock for me? This guy, right? That's all it does? Nothing else? So that was very worth it. Oh, I should do the June Gauntlet. Getting a Platinum Shard is probably good. Giyu actually has more DPS and range. Yeah, but it's not consistent. It unlocks the next chapter. Oh, whoop-de-doo. The chapter where there's an old horn, where I don't have any other anti-relic. Well, I mean, I guess I have cat jobs. Callie, you really think Giyu would have been better than Anubis in that stage? I don't think so. I feel like it would have been easier for Relic Doges to get into his blind spot and like start hitting him. Don't underestimate your Primordial against an old horn? Okay. Cat jobs on Uru Run? Shut up about Uru Run. Uru Run is not good. On second thought, yeah, I thought that same thing. Yeah. And plus, this is Anubis just true form. No talents, no ultra talents, just true form, you know? And he still works like a charm. His consistency is what appeals to me. And you know, you wouldn't think about, oh, you know, 3-second force swing. Consistent. No, you wouldn't think that, but that's how it is for me. Anubis gives me consistent value. I love him because I've had good experience with him. Like that stage right there. I actually managed to have 2 Anubises on the field at the same time. On Old Horn, you could use her for the shits and giggles. I think I'd rather use cat jobs for the shits and giggles. The giggles and shits, if you will. I'm not going to true form a single one of those legends, by the way. Not a single SOL legend is really worth it until you start doing 4-star restriction stuff. Mina is the only maybe. But her DPS is still shit after her true form. But it is better. No school bus? What? What? Just use Baja Blast for these stages? Yeah, you're so right. Oh, Neandum? No, I've never true formed Neandum in my life, and I've never missed him in my life. His attack rate is just too low. Like, even if he had consistent slows, his attack rate is just way too low to be valuable. He'd have to have like a guaranteed wave or something. Or not guaranteed wave, guaranteed slow. That also had 100% uptime. Or at least close to it. Otherwise, no. If only he had Newton slow. Newton slow isn't even that good. Like, the main appeal with Newton is the fact that he has fucking 600 range. Which is actually more than Neandem. Plus, Newton has Omni. However, Newton only targets 2 things. At least it's decent? Yeah. We get Baja Blast and ZL because stages are more balanced around that. I choose not to do Baja Blast currently just because I don't want to do this fucking stage. So I'll do the stage when I decide I want to do the stage. If I get Baja Blast in the middle of UL, at the end of UL, at the beginning of UL, that all depends on how I want to do it. So it has nothing to do with balancing. And even if I had Baja Blast, there's no guarantee I would actually fucking use them. Having that slow against all trades would give him some value. True, but part of the reason why it feels so good on Newton is because it reapplies with his mini wave. And then also extends with his Omni. If Neandem, with Neandem not having either of those things, I feel like the wave would feel much less whelming than it does on Newton. And plus Newton has a much better force swing. And he has a Conjure. And he has actual damage. Against all traits with his uptime is just greedy? I mean more on the guaranteed side. Uptime is greedy, sure, but I think Neandem's attack rate is slow enough that it has much less uptime percentage than Newton's. So I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just thinking about the fact that it's guaranteed. And even if Neandem had a guaranteed slow, it's not that great. Controlled shock saw music. Listen. I decided to have a little bit of fun with my background soundtrack. Thought we were talking about Newton. This got confusing. We were talking about Neandem if he had Newton slow. That's what we were talking about. Yeah, but Neandem is also unlocked much earlier, and he still doesn't have talents, so there's no justification for it. They just haven't updated the old units. They gave Filibuster talents already. Who, by the way, came after all of the SOL legends. And yet he still got talents first. Use her now. Urarun? Why do you think it's funny to use Urarun? Like I'm just curious. Why do you think it's funny? There's nothing funny about using Urarun. Knockback? You realize all I have to do is weaken this thing down to 1% and I can just nuke it, right? I should have had a weaken up combo. Forgot it's not 100% uptime. Cat Jobs? What did Cat Jobs weaken? Because it wasn't the Rhino. What the fuck? Y'all saw that, right? The Cat Jobs attacked, but didn't actually weaken the Rhino. The fuck? Okay, hey, guess what, chat? I'm gonna drop this for a weekend. And I'll bring Primordial. What other DPS can I bring just for the shits and giggles? Oh, I already have Dark Laser because of the combo. Non-talented Bahamut? No, I don't have money. This is fine. Stop acting like it's the same. Philly and Catgut are different because they're unlocked outside of Legend stages. Yeah, but I still think it's stupid that SOL has yet to get talents. And I'm not saying it's the same, I'm saying SOL came first. So the fact that it's different is the reason why I'm complaining. SOL came first before the end of Cats of the Cosmos, which is when Filibuster was announced, or was brought into the game. SOL in its entirety came before Cats of the Cosmos Chapter 3. So, like, they had true forms before Filibuster was even in the game. And yet they still don't have talents, but Filibuster got a true form and talents in the meantime. Slime has a true form, and Super Cat still doesn't. So Super Cat being associated with Puffer Planet, which is a Cats of the Cosmos based thing, Super Cat still doesn't have a true form. So if they're prioritizing Cats of the Cosmos for legend units, but not the actual rare unit, then what the fuck? It's inconsistent. I can complain about this. There's nothing wrong with complaining about this. I want legend units to have their talents. They deserve them. They haven't been, like, meta in ages. And Filibuster, even with his talents, isn't meta. Newton attacks a little over a second faster than the Enum. Is that, do you mean force swing or attack frequency? I think it's because it would require a placement to unlock them. What do you mean a placement? What even was the restriction behind Filibuster's talents? Because I understand he got his true form at the beginning of ZL, right? But how did you... Oh, is Filibuster talents locked behind zombie outbreaks? Catgun and Philly had their 2 stages. I mean... Didn't we see all of them again in ZL and we got nothing from it? Correct me if I'm wrong, but they had stages in ZL where they reappeared. Attack frequency? I mean, a second is still a good amount of time. Plus, Newton has more range, like I said. Omni, like I said. Mini, wave, which is, yeah. Yeah, 1.5 seconds is a pretty long time considering they're a slow unit. The idea of special legends getting talents came way after Cats of Cosmos ended, minus the outbreaks, but legend stages are ongoing to this day. Not legend! I'm not saying legend, I'm saying stories of legend. Stories of legend. SOL, ever heard of Order? UL and SOL are not the same thing. They both end, they both begin. They are separate things. They are separate entities. And plus, you can argue this all you want. Filibuster getting it way before SOL Legends getting their true form, or getting their talents, is crazy. Because if they just don't get talents, like, I understand Filibuster getting its talents first, but it's had its talents for a couple of updates now, no? And the SOL Legends are probably never going to get a talent, at least not for a while. Basic Cats also don't have talents. Craze Cats still don't have talents. Like, all of, they're... on it, and then there's also the non-gotchas that still don't have talents. Like these guys. Like, talents can be given to pretty much a lot of things. And they just want to give it to Filibuster and Catgut. It's still a continuation in a way, the same way Into the Future is the continuation of EOC. No. I don't see Into the Future as a continuation of EOC. I see them as completely separate chapters, because that's what they are. You see what this is? You see what this is? This is a chapter 1. This is a sub-chapter of Empire of Cats. You see? Big number here, or big letters here. Empire of Cats, that's its own chapter. And then this is Into the Future, its own chapter. It has 3 subchapters. This is Cats of the Cosmos. This has 3 subchapters. Guess what? SOL has 49 subchapters. Guess what? UL, it's a chapter on its own, also has 49 subchapters. They all are separate chapters that have their own subchapters. They are separate things. They are not all in one. You can't say that Empire of Cats and Cats of the Cosmos are the same. Because if you're saying Into the Future is the same as EOC, then you are saying that Cats of the Cosmos is a continuation of both of those, which I just disagree with. Sure, it's the main story, but after all this time, they're still adding on to Legends, the Legend stages, which theoretically means that that is the main story, because that is a majority of the game. I still think that SOL Legends should have talents by now. But, like, I'm not mad that Filibuster and Catcut got talents at all. I'm saying I think it's stupid that they got theirs so much. They got their attention so much quicker and so much more than SOL Legends. Because it kind of just feels like SOL Legends were forgotten. Like, that's what it feels like. It feels like they were just left in the dust. Meanwhile, Filibuster got a true form and talents, what, both within 2 years? I don't know the actual time frame on that, but it wasn't a very long time. Wasn't too long. Just like how true forms came at the end of SOL and UL Mythics came on Luza, it would require a stage to get all of them. Okay. Make the stage. It's not like they tied Awaken Bahamut stage but behind something super special. All it took was beating Cats of the Cosmos 2 and you had Awaken Bahamut's talents unlocked, essentially. You just had to beat the stage. They can make a stage that has nothing to do with the Legend stages. They can do that. Bahamut's talents were locked behind just an event stage. Meanwhile, he was unlocked in EOC Chapter 3, and his true form was unlocked in Into the Future. They are clearly not tied to specific stages like that. They can do that if they want to, and it depends on all of that. And like at the end of ZL, maybe they'll give SOL Legends chapters, or not chapters, talents. But like by that point, you're having level 60s, and hopefully they have ultra talents outside of Ubers by that point. And we're only going to just be getting talents for SOL Legends. How long will it be before UL Legends get talents? You know what I mean? You can't say continuation when they're completely separate chapters. I still disagree with that. I don't care about progression or anything. They're not the same thing. They're in their own categories, sure, but they're not the same thing. I think the progression point where you get SOL Legend talents would be Hell's All-Stars, the stage where you might get all the SOL bosses in a boss rush. It's super easy since you don't even need a new stage. Yeah, like they brought back the bosses. They brought back the SOL Legends as bosses. They just didn't do anything with it. I guess SOL Legends could get talents, but when UL Legends eventually get talents, because that will be an expectation from the community, they will have to be pretty weak talents. So they're not Baja Blast again. You act like they're... Okay. Let me say something. Bahamut, right? A generalist rusher. A rusher that is generally viable in a game where rush strat and rush meta is the strongest, compared to Luza, who is an underwhelming hardcore anti-relic. Nala, pretty much just an anti-behemoth and an anti-relic. Doron, hardcore anti-relic, unless you just want to chip with him. who is hardly ever used over some other Uber backliner, or honestly even Uber run. They both have similar DPSs. And Dogumaru, whose only real usage in true form is Luza and some occasional other stages. You're saying that them having simple talents could make them on the same level as Bahamut. Bahamut has been valid throughout the entire game. Anybody who says that he was bad at one point is just forgetting how strong he is if you actually time him. all Baja Blast did was reawaken people's usage of him and make him already overpowered. Like, the Uncanny Legends, yes, they are good, but they're not as good as Bahamut, and no amount of talents will make it so that they're busted. So you might as well just give them solid talents. Like, they're not busted. Their talents would by no means make them another Baja Blast. You can give the best talents to something in the world, like Anubis. They gave him very good talents. Attack frequency up and shield piercing, almost guaranteed. Attack frequency up. This almost doubles his attack rate. And yet, it's still not a Bahamut thing, even though it effectively doubled his DPS. That's just how different playstyle they are. Why are we downplaying the effect of Baja Blast? Because it doubled his DPS. Doubling the DPS of Nala will probably just make him a really good, sniper. Plus, he's not a rusher. Doubling the damage of a rusher is way more value than doubling the damage of a backliner. Guess what? Or anything with range, because rushers can so quickly get in multiple attacks, and plus they also gave him Pierce. So Baja Blast got a lot from Explode, but guess what? Nala getting Explode, I don't think it would do that much. Luza getting Explode wouldn't do that much. Like, it's different because he's a rusher. Rush Strat is so strong that if you double the damage on an already really strong rusher, it's going to make them busted, obviously. But that same thing won't be able to happen to the Uncanny Legends. I may be downplaying the effect that Baja Blast had, but you're upplaying just how strong the Uncanny Legends units are. Hers would be way more valuable if they put more Behemoth enemies in ZL. That's her niche where she can do a good job. That is true. Unfortunately, Behemoth enemies, they're just so power-crept by Courier for the most part that even if you could use Urs, I think Courier, Nala, even Uriel, because I think they gave him Behemoth Slayer, I think they'd all just be better. You don't have to give the Uncanny Legends bad talents just for it to be balanced. Especially since, I mean, if you don't want another Baja Blast, guess what? This game is being power crept to hell anyways. Why not? Why not have another Baja Blast effect? Especially if you're implying that it has to be at the end of ZL. Are we even halfway through ZL? I think we are now, right? Nala and Doran are really strong and can be used outside of Relics. Doran is a chipper at best. What are you on about can be used outside of Relics? I hardly ever... He's no better than Bullet Train. Because his cooldown is way too long and he's kind of costly for just a chip. Whereas ZL 32 out of 49. I mean, if we got, hypothetically, both SOL and UL talents at the end of ZL, I wouldn't be mad if we got another Baja Blast, because that's so late into the game that power creep is basically just already there. And you already have, like, Ubers with Ultra Talents and Ultra Forms and stuff. Like, I wouldn't complain about that if we got another Baja Blast at that far in the game. The main problem with Baja Blast is how early into the game you can get it. That's my main concern with Baja Blast, is it's literally locked. Literally, if you have the ability to beat the stage, you can literally get Baja Blast before beating Cats of the Cosmos 3. That is early game. That's my main problem with it. That's my main problem with Baja Blast. The reason why it's busted is because of when you can get it, not it just existing. It has damage in huge areas as well as consistency. Wait, who are we saying? Who are we talking about? Doran? Small like slime, but gets a guaranteed hit everywhere and can do 2 times more damage. I've seen Doran miss. It's not a guaranteed hit by any means. And sometimes just slime isn't enough. But, like, you didn't even mention my Bullet Train. Bullet Train can get hits in. Even Courier can be really good chip if you want Pierce. Like, there is no world where I see Doran being good Pierce, or, sorry, good chip, unless it's a very niche stage. Because there's just so many other good ways of chip that are better than Doron, in my opinion. Like, Doron just isn't worthwhile because he's 1800 cost. He has like a 30-second recharge time. Like, his surge is so inconsistent so that it's like it almost never actually lands on what you really want it to land on. Bullet Train doesn't have Omni or Area, but it does give you good chip and bonus damage if you kill something. Like, Doron is a very niche thing. Like, he's not... In my opinion, Doron's hardly ever viable outside of Relic. Just because chip is so easy to find in this game. If all you're looking for is chip, you're looking for the wrong shit. Or you're looking at the wrong guy. If you have Breaker Blast, you can usually hit the surge on the main threat. I mean, sure, but, like, why are you wasting a slot on chip like Doron? Because there are other things in the game that can have more impact on the game itself, as well as provide chip. That could be spammable, that could be cheaper, that could be more reliable. Oh god, it's this stage. Okay. Like, it's just one of those things where I'll never find Doron to be very valuable outside of Relics. Just because that's what he was made for, and there's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, if you want to give Doron talents and give him other traits to target, I would be perfectly fine with that. Does better chip than almost any other unit? Yeah, but, like... Chip is the main... It's not like you're killing anything. And if you're killing peons, they'll just respawn. And he only respawns every 30 seconds. You don't want chip every 30 seconds. In some stages, he is the best chip. Yeah, Relic stages. He's a specialist. I don't know what you want from me. He's a specialist, and there are much better ways of getting chip. You are killing with chip, not bosses. Not things with surge immune. Like, his main value is Relic. Like, he is a chipper, yes, but he's not busted if you give him slightly better chip. Like, his talents can still be, like, you can still give him solid talents and he won't be busted. Okay, he's good in 4-star whenever things have a lot of range. Okay, Professor A, well, Bullet Train can also hit Professor A. Cat Egg Pod can also hit Professor A. Green Shell doesn't have damage. Thunderbolt Cannon, Baja Blast. Bam. You were just talking about how good Baja Blast is, right? Thunderbolt Cannon and use him and they're dead. You don't need chip. You can just kill immediately. Like, it's... Doron's good, right? But by the time you're in ZL, his chip isn't anything special. And it's primarily because of his cost and recharge time. The main appeal of Doron is chip with Pierce. Okay, I want you to replay through all of UL. Play back through all of the UL bosses. I want you to use Doron exclusively on non-relics. I want you to go back, go through all of the Birth of True Man stages, or I know that's a specific stage, but go through that entire subchapter. Only use Doron for non-relics, for non-Luza. UL bosses are relics? That's what I'm saying. Don't use fucking Doron on them. And you tell me if his main appeal is chip rather than being a solid anti-relic. I want you to tell me that. His main appeal to me is being an amazing anti-relic. His main appeal afterwards might be chip, because afterwards, you've already done what he's made for. What am I even doing? God fucking damn it, bro. It's crazy to me that you're saying that Doron's main appeal is his chip. Because his chip, like, I've used him for chip. I get it. In 4-star restrictions, he's really good for chip. But aside from 4-star restriction, you don't need him for chip. He has another use, right? He does have the usage of chip. But that's not his main appeal. Maybe I did overestimate UL Legends, to be honest. A little bit. Like, Nala is really good. I'll give you that. Nala is really good, but generally, against non-behemoths, I think his stats are actually very okay. Like, his sniping ability is solid. But like, he only has 5k DPS effectively because he hardly ever actually gets double hits in. And so like, his range isn't it only 300? Or is it 350? I can't remember, but whichever one it is, his range is actually low enough that like he can die relatively easily. His immunities are valuable though. Immune to wave and surge, pretty good. But I think a lot of people overestimate Nala's survivability because of the fact that he has weaken and strong against relics. So Nala only has 300 range, yeah. And so like they overestimate how much HP he has. Like she has good HP, right? Nala has good HP. But most people kind of overlook that it's not that, like, it's not tank levels, just because they see the strong Ansem weaken whenever they do use her. Nala's a girl, right? I meant that outside of Relics, the main thing is chip with Pierce. Well, no shit, that's his only value outside of Relic. Like, even Nala, in my opinion, the strongest Uncanny Legend, is fine outside of Relics. Like, they're good, but they're no amount of talents will make them busted and make it another Baja Blast situation. 135k HP at level 50 with only 68k, 67.5k bulk. So, because like Nala only has 2 knockbacks. Nala's survivability is actually not that great outside of Relics. Like, they're basically a mid-range tank against Relics. I don't know what to do here. I mean, I guess wave, meat shields, stuff like that. I might just use double eraser here, honestly. And I meant that the thing that makes him stand out is pierce damage. To me, what stands out about him is his guaranteed freeze knockback against relics. And like, it's a really long freeze as well. Eggpod and B-Train don't have any pierce? Yeah, but Courier does. You never said anything about my Courier argument. Courier does a solid amount of pierce, has spam ability, is cheap, can, you know, do things. Like, there is piercing chip. More expensive? Yeah, more reliable because you can spam him more. You don't have to wait every 30 seconds. And if he misses, it's not that big of a deal because he'll just go in for a second hit. If Doron misses, you waste him. You wasted 1800 for 30 seconds. Which, by the way, yes, Doron can miss. I've seen it happen multiple times. And Courier may be more expensive, but he's more cost-effective too. I guess I'll just use Cyberpunk. Doron doesn't miss that often, but he can. And the fact that he can makes it, you know, a little less reliable. Speaking of other units that should get talents, I think the Deadly Advents are old enough to warrant talents. Absolutely, a lot of Advents, actually. Because the Cyclone Advents also never got talents. The only one that you would need to hold back on is Bullet Train, and even then you could give him something like Z-Kill to not be overpowered, but increase to value. Yeah, honestly, with Bullet Train, I think stat bonuses would be the main thing, because like they would make him actually more valuable in ZL since his limit is 50. His limit is level 50, sorry, and like his talent just giving him stat boost would actually make him like more viable in late game without making him too overpowered. Courier doesn't always get the hidden, sometimes he never does. Yeah, and in those stages you can use different things. Like, I think you're confusing me saying that Doron is rarely the best option or a good option, and confusing it with he's never. Because I never said he was a bad option, nor did I ever say that he was not ever an option. I said you're hardly ever, which aka means that there are niche situations where you will probably want to use him over something else or over anything else. But those are relatively niche situations. Because honestly, if you want piercing chip, Macho Legs. Manic Macho Legs works fine. He lands waves more consistently and more easily than Slime. He's cheap, he only has 600 cost, you know? And he can get multiple hits in per lifespan. Do you think every unit will be able to reach level 60 after ZL? God, I hope so. I hope we get Ultra Forms and Ultra Talents for things other than Ubers. How about we get new advents? No one likes spending in P. Well, they can also... How about this? If they want to give us more forms or more talents, then they can give us more rare tickets and draws and stuff. Anniversary's coming up. Medic Macho Legs doesn't do enough damage most of the time. Is he level 50? Is your Doron level 50, but your Medic Macho Legs isn't, so it feels underwhelming? Like, there is so many different ways of chip, right? Like, there's so many different ways of chip, and chip is just like such an undesirable thing. Like, in terms of niche, right? That isn't, you know, specialist specific. In terms of niche, the thing with Doron is that chip isn't that valuable anymore. Both are level 50? Well then, I mean, yeah, Manic Macho Legs, I admit, does die off later on in the game, but he does still have value. Because guess what? You expect chip out of him. You don't expect big damage, you expect chip. You know, damage over time. You expect piercing damage to at least chip down the back line. You don't expect anything more. Because that's what chip is. With Doron, I feel like you expect so much more because he's more expensive and he only gets one hit in. And then, like, since the Surge is RNG, you're looking at that Surge and you're like, oh no, it missed, or oh yay, it landed. Like, you have so much higher expectations for Doron. You expect more, and yet he's still just chip, you know? At the end of the day, Doron is nothing more than chip, outside of Relic. I get what I expect. That is the most narcissistic thing. I'm gonna need catch-ups. Is my playlist done playing or something? Play. Oh, I never turned it on loop. Brainwash Legs might be better, though. Then Doron, absolutely. The cost effectiveness is more than enough to me. Outside of rare situations, yeah. Yeah, we get it. Honestly, I love how we all kind of just, like, subconsciously agreed that, like, Luza definitely isn't overpowered. Like, Luza, honestly, Luza could get overpowered if he gets the right talents. Luza has a strong base, he just... I mean, I think he lacks HP, doesn't he? Like, he kind of relies on his resist a lot. But his range is 400. So, like, he has backliner potential. Like, generalist backliner potential. But his survivability kind of stinks, and he's slow. It's kind of like Bora, but against relics. I can see that. He was overhyped because we were still in the Behemoth meta when he was released. That is true. Behemoth relics, he does destroy them, to be fair. Professor Catjobs, did you just snipe that Neandum? What a legend. I think he did it again, too. They did it again. Genders in this game are hard because everything just looks like a fucking cat. Oh yeah, and I never actually thought about this. What if ID got talents? Or IDI, or whatever you guys want to call it. You saw how that chip allowed you to knock back Neandum in time? Yeah, from Slime. Doron wouldn't have hit the Neandum. And if he did, it would have been due to luck from his Surge. And plus, I think I still would have been fine. I'm using fucking Courier. I think the knockback would have been fine. And plus, it was weakened by the truck. And if you want to call it the chip from the truck as well, then that's fine. Because that would have been something perfectly doable by Manic Marshallux as well. Loses 52.7k HP isn't that bad. It could be higher, but it's not awful. It's not terrible, no. It would knock back the old horn to the Neandum. What? So what do you think of Horse Girl Ultra Form? Kahime? I think Kahime's Ultra Form is balanced, but I'm kind of tired of Ponos trying to make things balanced at this point. Because, like, I don't know. It gets underwhelming. Like, the Ultra Form is not very whelming. I mean, the speed up is great. Like, it's a very good Ultra Form, don't get me wrong. It's very good. But whenever we have things like Baja Blast and all the Fest Ubers, like, I understand that you don't want to make things too overpowered, but, like, I don't think a guaranteed explosion would make Kaihime better than most Fests. I think a guaranteed high-level mini-wave would give ID an interesting use case. True. That giving ID any form of Pierce would be great. But yeah, like, whenever it comes to Fests, right? If you want things to be balanced, why are the Fests obtainable as soon as level 10? Meanwhile, with an Ultra Form, you still have Ultra Forms that are worse than them. So if you want balance, then maybe you should double check what balance is. Busted Ultra Form Nikaluga's trust. True. Wait, where did X-Skull put Kaime's Ultra Form? I never looked at that. But I know that X-Skull kind of favors very specific Ubers, because I looked at a screenshot of one of their tier lists, and I saw fucking untalented or un-ultra talented KG in fucking S tier, and I was like, what? I'm sorry. Kaihime Ultra Form is A+. I would have at least put it in S. It's solid. At least I think it's solid. Kaihime was already in like at least B tier, and that's mainly because of speed. I don't like slow Ubers, but they gave her more speed, right? So they gave her more speed of 50% explosion, which she didn't have Pierce before. Fests are only balanced around being rare. Ultra Forms are also way later into the game, though. Like, you can't really get Ultra Forms until you're in the middle of UL. And so the fact that they're still trying to balance those, and then the Fests you can obtain anywhere in the game, and they're still like they're still so overpowered, it's actually kind of crazy. Higher average DPS than Dazzly at the same level. Yeah, but Dazzly has Pierce. Consistent Pierce, LD, stuff like that. As well as immunities, as well as really good survivability. Like, damage on Dazzly isn't everything. Like, honestly, I think Lucas said it best. The damage on Dazzly is not her best. It's not her best thing. Like, he said it best. Everybody looks at the damage, but nobody looks at the HP. At like level 30, she has like 80,000 HP or something like that. Like, it's one of those things where everybody overlooks her true strengths, which is immunities, LD, and mainly survivability. 5 knockbacks, right? With 80,000 HP at level 30, so much higher at level 60. Yeah, Dazzly's still better than Kaihime. I'm not going to change that. I'm not going to disagree with that, but I will say Kaihime is still very solid. Kaihime also has Zombie Killer. That's actually something she has over Dazzly. Kaihime has 250,000 HP or something like that, but only 2 knockbacks. Kaihime's survivability is largely hindered by her knockback count, unfortunately. It is a pretty good slow, but it's only against black and zombies, which is two pretty bad traits to target. She can take a lot of things. I'm not saying she can't. And now that she has speed, she can actually take that and like run with it, right? Like I'm not saying she's bad. I'm saying she's S tier. I'm saying she's probably underrated. Also, she has more range. Yeah, I know. I'm aware. She doesn't have a flat 400 range. I'm not saying she's bad, chat. You're misunderstanding me. I'm just saying that obviously they do have differences. I think Kaihime is actually a really solid specialist, but unfortunately, in terms of tier list, you have to do generalist viability, and that kind of just kills a lot of the ultra forms. Wonder if we'll get anything interesting anti-blast mechanics in the future. I want to see an explosion base. I mean, we got a surge base, even though the cat base doesn't have access to the surge base. So, you know, maybe the enemies will get an explosion base, you know? That would be really fun, right, chat? You think loses 400 range is why he doesn't survive that well? No, it's his lackluster HP. What? 400 range is solid. You cannot blame his survivability on 400 range. What? You said his HP is fine? It's fine. It's 52k. Is that at level 30? Or is... I gotta hope that's level 30. If that's level 50, that sucks. The fact that his general HP doesn't even surpass 100k, though... Level 30 HP? Okay, well, even at level 50, it won't have surpassed 100k. The fact that his general HP doesn't surpass 100k boggles me. Because, like, he looks like he'd be bulky because of how slow he is and how long his recharge time is. He doesn't survive that well, and, like, he survives fine. You just have to be using him in a stage where a backliner with 400 range works fine. Because he also has Pierce. I don't know if it's Omni or if it's LD, but he has Pierce on his second hit, at least. And so he could have large amounts of value. He just doesn't survive well because he's slow. He has got a long force swing. And then his time on the field is very lackluster, simply due to his slow speed and long cooldown. What is his recharge time? Is it 2 minutes? Because that's actually not that long, but if it's more than 2 minutes, then that's a problem. His survivability is from a lot of other things, I think. And, like, you also, most of the time, will use him against things like Maga Mojo, who has the ability to hit him. And then he also lacks immunities, because he's not immune to wave. 130 seconds, which is a little over 2 minutes. I guess it's not that long. Just feels long, I guess. Slow speed does usually help with survivability. However, it's his force swing. And I consider that a part of being slow. Like, whenever he's called something slow, I mean, like, more so mobility overall. But, like, his force swing is bad. The fact that he has a 2-hit multi is kind of weird. but like it's fine. I think the main thing that ruins his survivability is how you use him, because most of the time, since he's an anti-relic, you want to use him against relics and like relic behemoth specifically. But things like that one, I don't know the fucking name. It's like Iguana Day or whatever. The relic iguana, right? That bitch has Pierce. That bitch actually has a blind spot, right? No, am I wrong? I don't know, but it can hit Luza. And so, like in situations like that, it feels like he has poor survivability because he kind of does. He's fine as a Behemoth Slayer, yeah, and he's fine as an anti-relic, but his HP at level 30, 50k. Do you guys know how much HP D'Artagnan has at level 30? And people are like, "Oh my god, he has the worst HP in the game! Oh my god, it's so bad! It's so bad! He dies so fast!" 43k. A 10k difference isn't that big of a difference, and yet people were complaining massively about D'Artagnan's HP. Do note, D'Artagnan's recharge time is 90 seconds, and he's literally a bursting rusher unit. And they were still saying that 43k is the worst HP in the game, blah, 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 blah. And Luza, a backliner that is supposed to be able to survive, only has 50k. He has 1.6x and 4x HP against the Iguana, and yet the Iguana somehow fucking kills him. I don't have any better explanation either. Have you used Luza against that bitch? Because I can tell you, Luza's not exactly invulnerable against him in a long, drawn-out fight. Although Luza does do enough damage that it would probably kill him first. But hey, I always use him and Nala against it. Is that guy immune to weaken? He probably is. But like, they both do a massive amount of damage to Relic. I wonder what is Luza's attack frequency? Because like maybe it's just the way I use him. Maybe I'm the problem whenever I use him. Because like I do feel like his survivability lacks, but I don't know what. I don't know why his survivability seems to lack. Did that Sir Metal Seal just not get knocked back by a Shinobu crit? Oh god. Is this stage gonna force cameraman crit talent? .27 seconds. Halucha, what's your theory? I want to know your thoughts. Why is it that Luza seems frail sometimes? I've never had Luza die. You've never had him die? Okay, so you've either never used him or you're just a miracle worker. Because I've had him die on multiple occasions. Even against Relic Behemoth stages. But obviously those are kind of mixed, so. D'Artagnan has amazing HP. I'm assuming we're talking about Dar. I said Dar. I said Dar. Don't even gaslight me. I said Dar. The reason to probably range? Shut up about 400 range is perfectly fine. Like 400 range is fucking great. I don't know why you keep mentioning 400 range. .400 range is so fine. Wait, doesn't Nala have more general HP than Luza? The reason is probably range. Also, it's not that fine. I'm sorry, not every unit in the game can be a super backliner. His damage is just fine. His damage is pretty solid, in my opinion. 3 knockback, I mean, sure, it's low, but that's a good amount for survivability on a backliner. I'm pretty sure, doesn't Anubis have 3 knockbacks? Nala is 85,000 HP. I wonder if the reason why Luza seems frail is because Nala always outlives him. His damage has nothing to do with his survivability. I don't know why the hell you're mentioning that. I wonder if that is what it is. Like, he survives just fine, but you compare it to Nala's survivability. I wonder if that's what it is. Because Nala, I think, has more effective HP than Luza against Relic Behemoths. Because of Nala's weaken and strong against. As well as just more general HP as well. Because from my experience, Nala outlives Luza most of the time. Yeah, Hyper, I didn't read your message perfectly. But I have had him die against Fickle. At least that's what you're calling him. I have had him die against Fickle. Multiple times. What a lineup. Weaken and strong against provide as much defensive benefit as resistance, so yes, Nala has more effective HP. But like, why does having 100 less range, you would think that not... Maybe it's just me. Am I the problem? Do I just not use Luza well? I guess I don't think I ever leveled him up to level 50, but I think it's 45. Nala is just crazy. Yeah, it might just be me, though. I might just be bad at using Luza. How the hell did Giyu not hit the... I guess it was... The animation was just making it look weird. Bro, there's so many crits going on because of Shinobu and the Aros going at it. Oh, Giyu's fucking dead. The fuck? How is this going so poorly? Do you have any special cat's eyes to use on Bahamut? I don't care about Bahamut. I don't do rush strat. I'm not an advocate for a rush meta. I could give a shit if he was level 30 or level 40. I'll level him up when I need to. How about that? Instead of just using it on him whenever I don't need it. I think that's why resources are so lackluster in this game, because you use them without you actually needing to. Bum, 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 bum. Also, Callie, 46k HP. 320 is pretty risky, to be honest. Best to treat him as just a rusher. Yeah. No, really. Something with that much speed and damage. Rusher, yeah. He is. And yet people were still like, he has so little HP. He has so little, he's hardly usable. Oh my god, he's the worst thing, worst fast. Obviously, that's not what people actually said. But, like, I feel like people overreacted to his lackluster HP, especially nowadays whenever you can level him up to level 60, make his survivability pretty fucking fine. You prefer backliners over rushers, but I find it odd that you only use 2 meat shields. I'm using Jiangxi. If I was using Manic Mohawk, I'd understand your criticism, but I'm using Jiangxi. That last stage had waves, that's why my backliners are struggling. Like, it's just a general lineup. Red alert. He has enough range to be considered a mid-ranger, that's why I specified pure rusher. Well, a mid-range rusher, they exist. Remember Kalisa? They can still be a rusher while having range. You can use them as a pure rusher, but like, they're still classified as a mid-range rusher. Their range is still there. And D'Artagnan actually has Pierce. He's got a lot of burst damage. That's kind of what he's made for. He's not made to survive a long time. Now, D'Artagnan, that might be a different story. However, from my experience, having D'Artagnan, like, on my old account, I actually saw a lot of good viability out of him. Not very. I understand that D'Artagnan and D'Artagnan have a massive survivability difference. I am aware. I'm not saying... I don't know why y'all had to make it a D'Artagnan comparison, because I never brought in D'Artagnan. All I mentioned was D'Artagnan. There might be red enemies on the stage? Yeah, good thing I have Courier. Why does everybody make everything a comparison, bruh? I'm just trying to talk about, you know, my favorite Uber in the entire game. Dart is only in B+? Isn't D'Artagnan still an S? I'm sorry, I know the survivability difference is fucking massive, but like, if you're I know Exo considers level 60. Level 60 D'Artagnan has far better DPS. Not to mention actually usable survivability as well. So I don't understand how D'Artagnan is only B, but whatever. I was more about how the difference between Musashi and Luza isn't as big. Well, shit, you're still comparing. You're still comparing D'Artagnan to something else. So guess what? Still annoying! You know, Exo also has like huge ass documents explaining why they have their, you know, rankings how they are. D'Artagnan is an S. Yeah, which so is on ultra talented KG. The KG glaze might be a little high, just saying. Of course, I'm comparing. You are saying that Luza dies fast compared to other units. That was a whole nother conversation. Like, yes, I compared the HP of Luza to D'Artagnan's, but I'm aware that he has more range and more HP. I'm just saying that 52k HP isn't great. That's all I said earlier, and then you keep bringing it back. We are done talking about Luza. We settled that. Eraser is a better CC than Slime? What the fuck? Wait, what? Oh, he has his own website now. I had no idea. That's actually super neat. You don't have to do Control F to find shit. I agree about the KG thing, to be honest. No way he's that good of a generalist. Like, he's good, don't get me wrong. And, like, the mini-wave does make his DPS better. And it gives him Pierce, but, like... So, at level 30, it's 12k general DPS, which, by the way, is better than a level 60 Cosmo. Like, I do understand. I do understand having KG high, but he only has 300 range. He's a mid-range tank that doesn't really have anything more than damage, which I disagree with. And then, his DPS is only effective whenever he's strengthened. So, like... It's one of those things where, like... I'm aware it's full wave. I'm aware it's a full wave. Did I say mini wave? I meant wave. I don't think I even mentioned the wave though. But like, it's an inconsistent wave that I don't really like considering. You said mini wave? My bad. I mean, it's effectively a mini wave though. Because if it was a guaranteed mini wave, it'd have the same effective DPS. Which honestly, I would have preferred that, because that would have had more consistency. No? Rally. It's math. A mini wave is 20% the strength of a normal wave. So if it's a 20% wave and compared to a guaranteed mini wave, it's still a 20% effective DPS increase. Are you high? It'd honestly be better to be a mini wave. A guaranteed one, at least. I'm gonna need some more anti-floating. You say that, but refuse to add Savage Blow to DPS? What? I'm saying... I thought I was on your side. I don't like considering either. Would you never like to consider it, so there must be a big difference? There's really not. Well, I mean, I just like consistency, you know? I do like consistency, and like with Savage Blow and only a chance of a wave, I don't really like considering either of them. Like, as much as I love Savage Blow as a mechanic, like, I personally don't like considering it part of the effective DPS. However, I will do that specifically for the math. Just to keep things fair, I'll do it for the math and only the math. But other than that, nah. I don't really like to. I'll still do it, though. One unit I want the explanation for is Ultraform Misley is S tier. Oh yeah, that was fucking wild. Seeing that in there, because I saw that one screenshot of like, I think it was S tier and above. That was crazy. Can somebody post that in the Discord so I can look at it, just to refresh my brain? Misley has a lot of range in CC. You realize how little that gives Misley over anything else, right? The CC is only against Alien, and the range is negligible. Plus, where was she before Ultraform? Because I feel like her Ultraform didn't improve her usage that much. You realize Bora has more generalist value than Misley, right? And the same cooldown? Or at least a similar one? Pre-Ultraform, she's literally D tier? Yeah, that's actually insane. There's no way her Ultraform made him that much better. Because that's just not how that works. He doesn't? I'm sorry, you're telling me Bora's strength and DPS is not more valuable than whatever the fuck Misley got in Ultraform? Bora has 400 range. He's still a backliner. 450 range may be good, but it's not that much better. Like, okay, so let me mention something. Let me yap. The difference between 400 range and 450 range is strictly a survivability thing. There is almost nothing that actually has a change in range between 400 and 450. There's very minimal enemy units that actually have something between 400 and 450. There are very few that actually make good use out of having something higher than 400 range. It is strictly a survivability thing. Therefore, it is not that big of a deal, in my opinion. The difference is huge. Huge enough to go from D tier to S tier? Is it that huge of a difference? Is it? I'm asking. Is it that big of a deal? Mini Surge is a good change, I will say. Oh boy, I'm visiting the site. Yeah, survivability is huge. That's fucking crazy. Okay, so just to clarify, having a 450 range Mizunade, right, is good enough to make her better than Tikaluga. Insane Resistance Sage Slayer, those are niche. This is a generalist. Am I crazy? Is this not a generalist tier list? Because if it took in consideration specialist value, then what the fuck is Winter Kai doing in D tier? What the fuck is Chocolate Deity doing in C tier? What the Sage Slayer is amazing for a generalist? Really? In my opinion, no. You don't need Sage Slayer to be good. Yes, there are sages in ZL, but guess what? The only ones that actually require Sage Slayer are the bosses. The bosses are the only ones where it's actually like a necessary thing. All the others can most definitely be brute force, especially with something with damage or something. Because they don't reduce damage taken. Socrates did better than Bahamut. That sounds like a fucking skill issue and a half. Chocolate Deity has bad targetings, plus no need for it. You're saying Alien? You're saying that targeting Alien is worthy of S tier. So what the fuck is Saki doing in A+? Even ultra talented. What the fuck is Summer Rabbit doing in A-? What is Gundaros doing in B+? What is Dr. Heaven doing in B? And you're saying that Chocolate Deity has bad targetings. She at least has two of them. Mizu only targets Alien. Like, excuse me? Aphrodite. Ultra talented Aphrodite is only an A+. Mizu has huge generalist and mixed usage. Does she? Does she? It's only 11k DPS. What level's the surge? Level 2? Oh, that's RNG right there. This is good. Her survivability is good. I'll give her that. Her survivability is great. I just don't see her being S tier. I don't know why they are down there. Cost and recharge? I mean, 37. Yeah, it's good. Who else is in S tier? Mizunade is higher than Dark Tanyan? Bitch, what? I know Chocolate Deity has worse stats, but Aphrodite is only an A+, while Mizunade is an S tier? So that's level 30. At level 60, this bomb has an effective 19k DPS. I'm kind of shocked Death Troy R actually made it to S tier. I mean, it's S-, but still. Wow, Dahlia-san is lower than Trixie? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. I've never really used Hellward and Emma, so I can't really say anything on that. Sirius being an S tier is kind of crazy to me. Because all the experience I have using Sirius, she has been underwhelming as hell. It is probably the attack up combo. The tiers outside of SS are not in order. Oh. Oh yeah, I see. They're in order of the banner. I do see that. Okay, well, still in the same. Mizunare is in the same tier as Ultra Form Windy. If you want to talk about trait targeting at its finest right there. Technically on par, which I mean, still like comparing 19k effective DPS a majority of the time with Pierce with I think a similar recharge time. Yeah, very similar recharge time with better HP, better survivability. Well, maybe not better survivability because of the range. On top of the massive damage to traitless, like you want to talk about trait targeting. Putting Mizunare in the same tier as Dark Tanyan, Ultra Form Windy, Ultra Talented Hayabusa. That's kind of insane. And like correct me if I'm wrong, Hades is a kind of wild. Hades an S tier? I understand he's a solid tank. But this shit don't make sense to me. How? I mean, I guess he's good. Like, I know he's good. I didn't think he was S tier. I'm shocked he made it there. The range difference is huge. I'm aware. Okay, I don't know if there's a good way to do this. Enemy. Maybe I can do like enemy guide, enemy dictionary. Maybe. Can I sort off of range? I don't think I can sort off of range, unfortunately. Because like. Sure, fine. 450 range, that's worthy of having S tier. Let's see. Tengen. Shingen? There we go. 470 range. Still targets aliens. Still destroys the traits that they target. Still has 6 traits that they can target. So the only attacking isn't that big of a deal. And at level 60, how crazy is that DPS? At level 60, how crazy is this DPS? 31k without the talent for attack buff. And he is an A+, and Mizunare is an S. Oh yeah, where is Kaihime? Kaihime is an A+. How the fuck is Akechi up here? What the fuck? Maybe I just haven't used him right? Akechi? Akechi is above Koneko and Shadow Gao. Sorry, in the same tier as. What? I mean, Sage Slayer does give her more ZL viability, but what aliens are ZL? Like, what sages? Sage enemies. So we have Socrates, Dogenstein. The fuck is Tarst? So, sure, I guess. That one makes sense. But at the same time, she's already immune to warp, so that doesn't do anything. Well, I guess her CC against it is better. I will give her that. I guess. Obviously that one because it's a fucking alien outside of Alien. No. I genuinely feel like the only sages that Sage Slayer affects on Mizu is the aliens. Even outside of alien sages, Sage Slayer really helps. For Mizu, though. Because sometimes it depends. I don't think it does with Mizu. Sometimes a counter surge on Techno can make it not as good. What? Thunderjack and S-, by the way. That's... Thunderjack... How the fuck is Thunderjack still an S tier? I thought we all agree that Thunderjack is like an early game monster, but sucks after that. I genuinely had to look at the wiki to find out who Akechi was. He's the new Almighty that has shit. Here, I'll show you. He's the one with... he's like the shitty... No, sorry. What the fuck is his name? I did it wrong. Skanda. Skanda's his name. I was mixing them up because they're both new. Skanda is an A+. Look at this damage. I know he has a guaranteed wave. As a rusher, he has 40k damage per hit. Really? Like, he's a solid weakener, but it's only 4-second weaken. He has 10-second attack frequency with only 3 knockbacks. Baja support? How the fuck is a support standing up here? It's his conjure. I mean, it's a 3-second freeze every 90 seconds. He's a special case? Sure, I'll give it that. But in the same tier as Shadow Gal. How the fuck is Baby Gal all the way down here, but Sirius is up here? Kronos is also support, no? Yeah, but it's consistent. Kronos is also an S+. How the fuck is Poseidon an S+? The fuck? Okay, I think they might have Almighty Glaze or something. Is that Squirt Gun Saki? Hello? You're putting Squirt Gun Saki in A? Sure. Fucking sure. I mean, Poseidon does have a really good Savage Blow, to be fair. Like, I'm not shocked he's there. What's shocking to me is that he's put in the same area as ultra-talented Amaterasu. She doesn't need talents for strong. Where the fuck was Saki? Oh, they put normal... X-Skull is the only person that actually thinks that Saki is good. I swear, 90% of... Remember, they're attack only. I hope y'all are remembering. This is a tier list, which is, like, partially considering specialist value, but mostly considering generalist value, right? This is crazy. And like, still, if they want to take, if you want to say that it's because of specialist value, Dark Canyon is easily probably the best anti-trait list, and yet he's put in the same rank as... Oh, wait, do they just have a solid... I guess that is just a bunch of specialists. But like, let's find something down here. Tarun is in B+. A really solid anti-red and alien. This bitch, if you want to say really strong specialist, go ahead. This Ultra Form, Lumina, is only in B+, while Mizunade is in S. Yes, they have 600 range. Okay, hold up. I could have sworn people shat on... I like Saki. I've always been a lover of Saki. I've always thought her to be underrated because so many people shit on her because of her very huge blind spot and stuff like that. Since when are you agreeing with Saki being an S tier? Or sorry, A tier. A+ tier. I could have sworn people hated her. Why is Bora in B? Yeah, like, that's one of those things where if you're considering specialist value evenly for every Uber, why is Bazzy Bustra... Sorry, just Bora. Just straight up Bora. All the way in B tier while Mizunade is an S. He could at least be A. More so considering specialist value, but generous value is also valued semi-highly. then what the fuck is Matama doing in A-? Well, Shadow Gao is an A+. I would argue Bazzy Bastra is what I meant to say. Dark Matama, in my opinion, is like arguably the best anti-traitless. Just because damage isn't everything. She absolutely ruins every traitless in the game. Like, Dark Matama has a very solid anti-traitless niche. Way better than Dark Garu. Because 4K DPS with this much LD is actually fine. And then the slow is 3.5 seconds. And then the weekend as well. This is the wrong Matama, isn't it? This is the wrong Matama. Matama. Gothic Matama. Yeah, 5400 DPS with this much LD. Solid slow and a solid weaken on top of it. With immunities, with... Holy recharge time. I forgot the Matamas had such high recharge time. The main problem is probably general HP. Which, like, I get. Also, Rory in B+. D'Artagnan in B+. D'Artagnan and fucking Iz are in the same tier? Hello? Shadow Gao is an amazing anti-traitless and he's a good generalist? That's true. So what's your argument for Dark Garu? You're saying Dark Garu and Gothic Matama deserve the same tier? You're saying these two deserve the same tier? You're saying Dark Matama deserves the same tier as Wedding Cake fucking Cat Machine? Is it just Cake Machine? You're saying this guy? He only has a 3-second... I forgot that he was so different than normal Cat Machine. But still... This weekend, it's not good. I never used Garu before. Well, have you ever used Cake Machine? This guy's pretty good. Pretty good. It seems like he's only good against Angel and Aku, and even then he struggles. Angels would run through him, and Aku would also run through him. Those are both very aggressive traits. He'd probably get one hit off before dying. How the fuck is Bunny and Kennard an A-? Also, Trixie, this guy, Stall, and her. I think that they're all overrated as fuck, but that's just me. Same, I still question how Thunderjack made it to S-, but whatever. They're a strong specialist? Uh-huh. Meanwhile, Gundaros, also a really strong specialist, is in B+. How the fuck? What? Summer Lilin is an F+? I've had good experiences with her, though. She's actually not terrible. Summer Ku is an F-. Hello? Reminder that all units are considered at max potential, so level 60 plus any talents. Yeah, that bitch did not have talents. Nor does he have a true form. Wedding Cake Machine is just weird. Just a weird pick to me. But that's fine. How is Summer Ku... The fuck? Ku. Okay, we'll talk about level 60. $12k DPS against floating and zombies with Zombie Killer with 400 range with effectively 200k HP. With Zombie Killer. I feel like she's and 5 knockbacks, good speed. I feel like she's not bad. She's not F-. 250k HP? Shut up. I'm just doing rough math. Somebody home? Hello? Why am I hearing shit? Hello? I'm sure it's fine. She feels cool, definitely feels more at home with the D tier crowd. So put them in the D tier. Like, I feel like specifically Summer Coup, I couldn't give a shit about Santa Coup. Wave Rider Coup's good. I've used her. Like a solid amount. I feel like any trailer specialist should be good enough to avoid F tier. True, because is that normal Mirsha or is that Summer Low Mirsha? I don't actually know. But yeah, like Summer Beach Lilin is solid, in my opinion. Terran in D-? No, that's not normal Terran. That's a different one. I don't think they're that bad though, but so Night Beach Lilin, she has like effectively the 7.5k DPS ish against both Traitless and Alien. Only an 85-second recharge time. Of course, these are level 30 stats. 52k HP, but plus strong against good. Guaranteed barrier breaker, like, and a 20% dodge. She's not bad. It's Valentine shit. That's what I thought. Sometimes I wish they would just use the evolved form image so that I can at least see color. I'm looking for... Is this Is this Is this the Halloween Thundia? Because I'm looking for the Anti-Angel Thundia, Music Fest or whatever. But I'm not seeing her. Oh, C+. Okay. I mean, I like that. I'm sorry, Togaluga in C? Kiss KG in C-? That's funny. This is weird. We gotta talk about how normal Mirsha made it to B tier equal to amazing specialists like Ray and Bazzy Phoenix. Yeah. Truck only in B-, by the way. RIP. Jian? Jian, now that she has a true form, only in B? Hello? Hello? I can understand Twin Stars being in C+. Hello? Jian's fantastic. The fuck? Also, I think I'm gonna go... I'm not going to end stream. I think I'm just gonna move over to Pokemon maybe, but I wanna do one last thing in terms of Battle Cats. D'Artagnan at level 60 has effectively 24k damage, 25k DPS against everything, and if you really want to do per hit, that's more than 100k against anything with a trait. With LD that pierces forward 225. And his HP is 86,000. Not so bad anymore, huh? And yet he's put in the same tier as Is. The Dancer. The white one. The one that nobody uses. Arguably the worst fast. Seriously? Wait, that literally is the worst fest on this tier list. Because even Dark Garu made it up here. Where's Light Garu? Where the fuck is Light Garu? Oh, right, Baby Garu. Yeah. 325 range is risky in UL onwards. I understand for UL, but in ZL, D'Artagnan is much more viable as a rusher. Because, like, with Rusher Strat being so strong, especially in ZL, I think D'Artagnan would fit really well inside of it. And, like, I get that it can be risky, but, like, if you're using him well, LD works perfectly fine. I'm excited to see Gondoro's true form. I'm excited too. I don't think he'll... Well, if he can get in a hidden on Darwin, then maybe. Yeah, some of these are insane. Some of them are fine. Like I understand a lot of it though. It's Sage. What do you mean? I mean, I know Gondros is Sage Slayer. Are you really correcting him? Yeah, Gondros is really good though. Bro, really coining battlecatstierlist.com. Crazy. I forgot Sage. Man, poor Adam and Kachi. D+. I forgot the Sage name. Ah, okay. Yeah, overall, this is really weird. So, chat, what should I... So, I have a question. There's two things I can do. I can either, one, end stream, take like a 2-hour break from streaming and then go live playing Pokemon. Or I can just take a quick break and then stream Pokemon now. Which one would you guys rather? And I'm mainly asking the ones that would watch the Pokemon stream. Because either way, I'm done playing Battle Cats for now. So I'm asking those that will actually watch me play Pokemon. What would be better? Me starting it now or starting it in a couple hours? Because I do kind of want to take a break because I should probably eat lunch and stuff, but... I don't know. Bye, Hyper. And then Callie, I'm assuming you're gonna leave. Either way. There may not be anybody that does watch the Pokemon stream here. Which then it'd be perfect for me to take a break.
Robert.
I probably need to watch it now since I have to go to my brother's graduation later. Alright. I'm gonna take a quick break. Or I say quick break. I'm going to the bathroom. And I will be back in a minute.